Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Mic check. Test 1 2. They've got some loud music playing right now. It'll be really hot. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Perfect.
Betalicio. 9, Presley Ortiz. 15, Themba Muata Marlo. 16, Sean Simons. 17, Jordan Segredo. 18, Adrian Uchino. 22, Eddie Caspers. And number 80, our former goalkeeper, Oliver Culletts. On the bench for APIA this afternoon is number 1, Anthony Bazanis. 5, Dredden Kelly. 11, Rory Jordan. 29, Maxim Kasalovic. 30, Alex Denmead. And number 99, Franco Farinella. For the home team this afternoon, Sydney United 58. We've got number 1, Tristan Pendergrass in goal. Number 3, Bailey Rule. 4, and captain, Adrian Vlastelica. 8, Mario Chabot. 10, Carlos de Oliveira. 11, Matthew Hatch. 13, Alessandro Lacalandra. 14, Liam McGee. 17, Michael Glassick. 23, Mason Wells. 32, Leroy Jennings. On the bench this afternoon, making his return, number 9, Patrick Antelmi. 15, Tarek Mayer. 16, Anthony Krilic. 22, Stefan de Robillard. 31, Josip Orlovic. And number 43, Michael Platazina. Come on, let's bring home the boys for a big victory this afternoon. Go City United.
Hello and welcome to round 9 action of the NPL New South Wales men's competition, live here from Adenza Park, the Sydney United Sports Centre, as Sydney United 58 take on APIA Leichhardt in what is set to be a cracking matchup. Few familiar faces on either side of this one, looking to get revenge, possibly on their old clubs. We'll get to the lineups right after kickoff. Thanks for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Ref just checking his clock, making sure we're all good, and we're underway here. Seiya Kambayashi, the first kick of the game. And a bit of an early physical challenge there, and that doesn't look good. I think it's Temba Muata-Malo down, clutching a knee. That is an absolutely awful way to start this game, and given the look on the bench, that's not good at all. Franco Parisi on the sideline looks really, really concerned with this one. Muata-Malo, one of the elite defenders in this competition. This doesn't look good for him at all. He's in agonizing pain, and that is just devastating to see. Just moments into this one. Non-contact injury as well. Those are the ones that just typically tend to be a bit more serious, and we hope that it's not, but geez, that is an awful, awful start here at Sydney United Sports Centre. So we could be in for a little bit of a delay here. Obviously kick off a little bit delayed as well, but didn't look like there was much contact in that. That is really, really disappointing. Just doing a bit of test work on the joints and the knee. So just look back on the replay here, thanks to our cameraman Chess. Yeah, it just seemed to catch the turf underneath as he went to kick that ball away. No contact there. It looked like he got shouldered off, but round of applause as he's taken off here, and really unfortunate, but the opening seconds of the game, and APIA Leichhardt have lost one of their most important players at the back. So an early substitution being forced to be made here. It's going to be Dredden Kelly, the man to come on by the looks of it, or a bit of a reshuffle at the back. Seiya Kambayashi likely going to have to fill in at that right back role, but Temba Muata-Malo looks to be in really, really bad sorts on the sideline here, so nothing but the best to the number 15 for APIA Leichhardt. Hope it's not too serious, but we hope for a speedy recovery. One of the best players in this competition. But let's get to the starting lineups as the match is back underway here. An early ball from De Oliveira trying to find Lakalandra offside with the first real chance of the game for either side. So for APIA Leichhardt, Franco Parisi's side starting with number 2, Seiya Kambayashi.
With injury to number 15, Temba Muata-Malo. Coming on is number 5, Dredden Kelly.
Number 6, Anthony Sparacino. Number 7, Jack Stewart, who celebrated a birthday during the week. Number 8, Joel Bertalicio. Number 9, the league's second top goal scorer, Presley Ortiz. Obviously slated to start, didn't have much an involvement of the game, unfortunately, due to that injury. Temba Muata-Malo. Number 16, Sean Simmons. Number 17, Jordan Segredo. The captain, number 18, Adrian Uccino. Number 22, Eddie Caspers. And in goal, making his return to the Sydney United Sports Centre, number 80, Oliver Kalach. On the bench, number 1, Anthony Bazanis. Number 5, who is now starting at centre-back, that is Dredden Kelly. Number 11, Rory Jordan. Number 29, Maxim Kasalovic. Apologies for that. And number 30, Alex Damed. And number 99, Franco Farinella. Rounds out the bench for Franco Parisi's side. And for Sydney United, a couple changes to that side that went away to Wollongong last Sunday and beat the Wolves 2-1. Ante Juric side in goals as always. Number 1, Tristan Prendergast. Number 3, Bailey Rule. Number 4, Adrian Vlastelica. Number 8, back into the starting lineup is Mario Chabot. Number 10, Carlos de Oliveira. Number 11, Matthew Hatch. Number 13, up top, Alessandro Lacalandra. Number 14 at the back is Liam McGinn. Number 17, Michael Glassuk. Number 23, Mason Wells. And number 32, Leroy Jennings. Rounds out the starting lineup. And on the bench, number 9, Patrick Antelmi makes his return from a 3-game suspension. Number 15, Tarek Meyer. Number 16, Anthony Krilic. Number 22, Stephen de Robillard. Number 31, the backup goalkeeper, Josip Orlovic. And number 43, Michael Pratzina. So, looking at the early stages of this one, it's seemed pretty 50-50. The first couple of minutes or so, obviously a couple minutes in to change there. Matthew Hatch, good ball down the line. He kept it in by inches. Referee doesn't think so. Very, very close call there. Not the most happiest of faces down there. Ante Juric, who's definitely embraced the Adenza Park culture with the Adidas trackies and white t-shirt tucked in. You love to see it when a manager comes into a club and just embraces the culture straight away. It's good to see. Vlastelitsa's been everywhere to start this game. In the midfield, winning the ball back as Wells tried to bounce onto that one. Couldn't get there. So obviously we've got one more game, simultaneous kickoff as well. Two of the heavyweights this season, if you will. Last year's runners-up, Rockdale Linden, hosting the league leaders, the Northwest Sydney Spirit, one of 2 sides to remain undefeated after the Marconi Stallions kept their unbeaten run to the season alive. It's a big game for both sides. The APIA Leichhardt have been on fire in front of the goal, really. 2 games this season with 6 or more goals. See both of those coming in pretty quick succession as well. When they get a sniff and get a couple goals, the floodgates do tend to open for this side. But you do have to wonder how much of a mental blow the injury to Temba Muata-Malo might be to that side. He's gone down into the change rooms down below to get some further medical treatment. We'll try to get an update at half-time to see what the possible severity of that one is. But ball back with Sydney United here. The Oliveira working his hardest as he always does in the middle of the park to try and win that back. Now Stewart. The other way for APIA. Good ball through. Probably went a little bit too hard. Casper's thought about it. Back in the middle, Stewart's touch is a little bit heavy, but it fell perfectly to Eddie Caspers, who just put a little bit too much pepper on it. And it'll sail over the bar with the first real chance of the game for both sides here. It's a goal kick taken pretty quickly there, which is something that a few sides have toiled with this year, has to be said. The quick goal kick and not just launching it up the field. It's had mixed success this season, it has to be said. There's a throw for APIA, pretty deep into Sydney United's half here. Bit of pressure here on the substitute Kelly. Quick ball now to Stewart. The skipper's just copping a little bit of early physicality from Sydney United. Wonder if that was in the pre-game tactics from Ante Juric. Just put this middle under a bit of pressure. Obviously, APIA have scored a lot of goals, as we mentioned, but have conceded a significant amount for a side in their position, currently 3rd on the table. As an early free kick given to APIA as Eddie Caspers goes down there. So now at the back, that was a quick one from Sparacino. Early ball in the middle. Was looking for Presley Ortiz to add to his big goal total so far. 8 games started, 8 goals for him. Stewart's ball in the middle, looking for Ortiz. Prendergast first to it. Good keep in there from Sydney United, 58's number 1. It's an interesting battle today. The 2 number 1s, obviously, Oliver Kalach departed the club when his father was relieved of his duties as manager, and they proved to be a pretty good duo, the 2 of them, as Jennings out wide does well to keep it in. Edge of the box, De Oliveira goes for it. Good stop by Caspers, but one back by the number 10. Classic out wide. Hatch fakes it past Stewart. His touch is a little bit too heavy. And it's going to be a goal kick the way of APIA Leichhardt. Bit of pressure now. Kalach gives it away. Jennings has got plenty of options to go to. Out wide. Mason Wells. Mason Wells just wide of the back stick. Sydney United's top goal scorer this season, Mason Wells. Brilliant opportunity to open the scoring and picked his spot. Just went a little bit too wide, but looking to keep the pressure up in the early stages here, Sydney United. Lacalandra tries to flick it off to De Oliveira. Ball first from Kelly, but also took out De Oliveira on the way. Referee says play on for the time being. That is Logan Jones in the middle. Vastalitza thought about going for it. Went to De Oliveira. In the back was Kelly. Referee calls the free kick, and Chabot taken very quickly. Wells cuts in on the left. Try to find Jennings at the back stick, but out for another goal kick. Very positive signs from Sydney United in the early stages here. A side that has frankly struggled in front of goal in the early stages of this season, looking very, very positive against one of the heavyweights in APIA Leichhardt. Wells, 3 goals to his name to start this season. That puts him 9th on the Golden Boot tally. Obviously very early days. You've got 2 of the elite goal scorers in the competition so far this season. Jack Stewart's got 4 to his name, and as you mentioned earlier, second place, leading or trailing Alek Udashevsky, is Presley Ortiz. In all 4 games that he's scored this year, he's found the back of the net more than twice on 3 of those occasions. So, bit of a trend. If he finds the back of the net, he'll tend to find 2, if not 3. Good header forward by Lacalandra. Chance now for Mason Wells. Foot in there by Kelly. Chance for them to recover now. Simmons launches it forward. No one home, and Vlastalitza there on clean-up duty. McGinn back out wide on the right. They've favoured this side in the early stages. Lacalandra. Classic. Nice touch forward. Great football on display by Sydney United here. Vlastalitza, even better ball out wide. Jennings, pockets picked by Stewart. Disposes Hatch's defensive efforts as well and launches it wide, but only as far as Bailey Rule. Has a chance to shoot if he wants Bailey Rule. Bailey Rule just wide of the target. Very expensive start here for the hosts. They are on fire in the opening 12 minutes. They'd be pretty familiar to Oliver Kalach's efforts between the sticks, this Sydney United side. All but 2 outfield players, teammates of him last season. So the majority of the core still here. Classic and Chabot, the only 2 new faces. Wells using all of his pace to dart down the right. Did he keep it in? No, he didn't. Goal kick, Sydney United. Long ball again, not going the way for the visitors. And trying to switch up the play was De Oliveira to Jennings. Was probably offside, but the flag stayed down, playing the advantage to the visitors. So we'll see if our sideline man, Jude Dolan, can give us an update on the injury front. Our sideline reporter, if you will, virtually. But for the time being, Sydney United all over APIA to start this one. Our first chance of the game went APIA, but the next 5 or so have been all red shirts. Vastelitsa space to go forward, which he opts to do. Forced to Lakalandra. Great first time ball. Hatch on the overlap now. Hatch back in the middle. It's the easiest of goals for Bailey Rule. And Sydney United 58 get a well-deserved opener in the 15th minute here. Beautiful work by Matthew Hatch.
Goal for Sydney United, scored by number 3, Bailey Rule. Sydney United 1, lead APIA 0.
Great goal by Sydney United, and you have to say it's thoroughly deserved considering the start. It's a new look Sydney United so far, the last couple of games or so. Massive credit to a lot of people there on that goal. Lakalandra, great first touch ball over the top. Hatch using all of his pace from left back to get up there. Got it past Kelly, and it was just a simple tap across goal. And Bailey Rule could finish that blindfolded. Although the APIA defence did make that difficult. Did their best, but as I said earlier, it might just be a little bit of a mentality switch after that injury earlier in the game to see an experienced head and a well-liked character in those APIA change rooms. The Oliveira is putting the substitute under lots of pressure in the early stages here as Kalach under more by Lakalandra. Hatch heads it back into danger. Sorry, that might have been Chabot earlier. Chabot and De Oliveira, very similar players, very similar look in stature and the way they play. Obviously, both coming from Blacktown City as well. And back when they played together at Blacktown City, De Oliveira had luscious long locks, so it was pretty easy to tell them apart. But now, rocking the same hairdo and beard and playing in similar positions, very easy to get the two confused. Long throw from Hatch now. Lakalandra looking for a bit of hold-up play. Kelly touches a little bit heavy, was calling for the foul, didn't get it though. Lakalandra. Pass goes a bit wayward, and for APIA, this might be some much-needed possession there. One back. Vlastelica first-time ball. Over the top. First touch a little bit too heavy for the skipper there, and possession back with APIA. Great first time ball there. Now Caspers looking for the switch out wide to Stewart, and Matthew Hatch is there again. Back to Prendergast. Rule. His pass through was deflected a little bit, and Mason Wells went for a little tricky spin there. Got caught up, and now ball back in the middle, Jack Stewart. Coughed up just as quickly for APIA. Classic. Had to work hard to beat Kambiyashi to that one. Jennings holding it up there a little bit, allowing Hatch to go forward and utilise his skills on the left flank, but now it's out right with Wells. Good ball, Classic. And there's two balls on the pitch. Going to be a goal kick regardless. Sean Simons out there who did well to shield off Mason Wells. Both sides coming off pretty heroic wins last week. APIA with a 4-3-1 over Rockdale Linden as Kalach. His goal kick goes wayward. It's out on the full, and don't the Sydney United faithful let him know about it. Man, that made plenty of big saves last season. Won't mean much to APIA for now. Good ball from Stewart. Kambiashi forward. McGinn gets a foot there. Good challenge. The first corner of the game goes the way of the visitors. Plenty of numbers in the box here for APIA. Good long swing at the back stick. Was looking for Stewart. Deflected back into Kelly. Had a good look at it. It was a little bit too high and couldn't get his header down. And it's a goal kick for Sydney United. Bastalitza again, the short free kick, or the short goal kick, I should say. Didn't go to plan, but United gifted one there. We'll get the ball back. It's been very impressive how good Sydney United have been holding possession in the middle here in the early stages. As I say that, they give the ball up. It always happens, the commentator's curse. But aside from that, they've had some good one-touch football, nice little triangles played out wide, and look good. Ante Juric's side in the early stages here. Kelly out wide now with Stewart. And again, possession coughed up. Matthew Hatch, early contender for man of the match, it should be said. He's been everywhere for Sydney United. Macalandra now with a bit of space to go forward. He's got Joel Bertolicio for company. Good physical battle there. Referee says play on. Long ball over the top. Didn't find the intended target, but Seiya Kambiashi's there. Kambiashi now goes for it. Low driven straight at Glassick. And now a chance to go the other way. Sydney United through Mason Wells. A thrilling first 20 minutes of action here in Adenza Park. Long ball over the top. Kelly first to it though. Bertolicio flicks it back into danger. Uchino. As Jennings runs into Caspers, who's got a bit of space to go forward now. Kambiashi with a bit of space in the middle, but it's Stewart now out wide. De Oliveira back in defence. And Vlastalitza's pass straight to Jack Stewart, goes for it, but works hard to get that one back, the captain, and they'll get the ball back. Good work there by Adrian Vlastalitza. So APIA becoming wiser to the short set piece style that Tristan Prendergast has opted to go for in the early stages. Plenty of pressure up top, but could be to their disadvantage here as Liam Hatch looks to expose that. Deflection falls very kindly for him. Hatch, cross goal, chested away almost to De Oliveira, but Sean Simons, I should say, does well to keep that out. Now it's Segredo. Darts it across to Bertolicio. Caspers look for the first time ball to Presley Ortiz. And now a chance to go. Jennings, good ball by Chabot, outside of the foot. Jennings got time to think about this one now. Goes left, right. Leroy Jennings back to Chabot. Referee in the centre of the action now. De Oliveira baits a few out wide and goes back into the middle. Heavy touch is recovered though. And a long, big stride there from Jack Stewart. Gets it out just before halfway for APIA. Throw in Sydney United. Throwing straight at Jennings, and Kelly had a bit to say about it, but the referee plays on, and a long ball forward, but that'll go straight to Tristan Prendergast. Not a favourable decision by the fans here. Lastalitsa. In now with a bit of space to go forward. Good ball, Lakalandra drifts from his central position out wide. Can't keep the ball in though. So plenty of action happening this round. We had a few big results last night, but in the other game, Rockdale Linden and the Northwest Sydney Spirit tied at 0-0, and at the conclusion of this one, you can jump straight into another game, the distance derby of the top flight here in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Manly United playing host to the Wollongong Wolves. Nice little 3.5 hour drive for the Wolves, if you don't mind, for that one. And nice ball out wide, just floats across the deck to Mason Wells. Cuts it back in, Glassick. Bailey Rule across the face of goal. Hit the crossbar from Lakalandra, back in. Alessandro Lakalandra finds the back of the net, but the flag is up. And just like that, Sydney United come within inches of finding a second. And it was almost rinse and repeat from the first goal. Down the right side, the fullback makes a great run, gets it back in the middle. Lakalandra did so well to get onto that one, and just off the bar, so frustrating for him. Yet to find the back of the net this season. It was a beautiful ball as well out wide to Mason Wells, it must be said. Looking back at that one, but APIA, can they put that behind them and find their own opener? Stewart lays it off, Bertalicio. Beautiful ball in, and it's an even better stop from Vlastelica. It was Segredo who cut in from the left. Gives APIA their second corner of the game. So Kambiashi on corner duties here. They look dangerous from the first corner they had. Can they do something similar here? Kambiashi goes direct and just had the wrong angle of curve. Complaints there from the APIA players that Prendergast might have got a touch to it. Didn't look like it from this angle though. And a long ball from McGing falls all the way through. Lakalandra now, chance to make it 2. Lays it off, De Oliveira, Chabot's in space. Covered up by a few APIA shirts. One more go at it here. Mason Wells back in the middle, great stop. Sean Simons stops a potential second goal there. The experienced head at left back. Hearts in mouth stuff for APIA to start this game. Sydney United with some real clear-cut chances, but APIA's defence still holding strong. APIA haven't had the best of luck against Sydney United, or at this ground to say the least. Sydney United, and they're on a 4-game winning streak against APIA, including 3 last season. Good ball here from Kambiashi. Segredo now. Simons flicks it through, dealt with by Glassick. Prior to this game as well, Sydney United had been first to score in the last 4, and they'd gone on to win all 4 of those matchups. So Possibly a bit of an omen for Sydney United. They've scored an average of 2.5 goals in the last 6 matches, whilst APIA have only managed 1.6 in that same time frame. Great ball through. Really good chance for Bertolicio. Skies it wide at the most critical point. Kambiyashi has done really well playmaking there from the number 10 role. And that ball, unfortunately for him, not near the target. Back to the short goal kicks. It's been working the last couple of times for Sydney United. The Oliveira recapping possession. So only 2 losses this season, APIA, and one of those they did go down into the break losing, and the second loss they went in at a draw. And all 4 of their wins this season they've gone into the break winning, so if that's anything to read into, as a free kick goes the way of APIA, and taken quickly is Sulcino, trying to get the tempo a bit faster from his side. Bertolicio, quick one to Stewart. He's attracted a lot of attention, Jack Stewart, and rightfully so. It's the most goals scored in this competition by a mile, it must be said. APIA Leichhardt, 27 goals in their first 8 matches. That is some record. That puts them miles clear of any other team, really. Kambiyashi, good ball in. Caspers, beautiful finish. And just like that, APIA Leichhardt are back in this game at 1 apiece. Eddie Caspers, as cool as you like, flicks it on, and Seiya Kambiyashi, who's been the prime playmaker so far, sets up a brilliant goal for APIA Leichhardt. It is 1-1 here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. That takes their total to 28 for the season, APIA Leichhardt. So Eddie Casper's second goal of the season. Sub finish. Just one of those ones as well that you dream about in training. Wide open. The Sydney United defence caught napping for half a second, and this ruthless attack of APIA making them pay. Mason Wells now. Look to find Lakalandra. Chance to go forward. Stewart. There's the goal scorer, Eddie Caspers. Long ball forward, and a bit of a battle between Segredo and McGinn, which will be won by the Sydney United defence. So a few former Bulls as well in this game, FC Academy members. There's one of them now, Mason Wells. Great run to get him behind. Little push in the back, but referee deems it legal. Play on. Mason Wells, Eddie Caspers, Joel Bertolicio, for part of that famed side in the 2023 season. They played all their home games here. Also Rory Jordan, who's on the bench after returning from his short loan spell with the Newcastle Jets last season. The Oliveira through. Kalach cleans that one up. Hasn't had much to do the last 5 or 10 minutes, Oliver Kalach, which is always a good sign for a keeper. Segredo. Caspers. That one going out. And it's going to be a goal kick. Also to mention Stephen de Robillard on the bench. One of those Bulls, or former Bulls, have gone. And quick update on the other game as well. Rockdale Linden have taken a 1-0 lead over the Northwest Sydney Spirit. Plenty of goals around the league as well from last night's action. Good chance here, one back by Chabot. His former side got a good win, 1-0 win against the Sutherland Sharks last night at home. A bit unusual for Blacktown to be playing a Saturday night game at home, but got the win. Bertolicio has to work hard to get past Jennings, won't get past the experienced man and fouls him in the process. Just to wrap up the other scores as well, Sydney Derby, Western Sydney and Sydney FC 0-0. St George Saints continue their strong run with a 2-0 win over the Central Coast Mariners. The Marconi Stallions continue their unbeaten run with a 3-1 win over St George City. And Sydney Olympic put 4 on Mount Druitt for a 4-0 win to round out the action so far. Plenty of good games coming next week as well. APIA will head to... They'll head to Manly in round 11, which is always a difficult matchup for any side to go to Manly. They'll host Mount Druitt next week, and Sydney United with a big derby match here against Rockdale and Linden in round 10 before travelling to the Shire for a battle with the Saints. 2 difficult matchups coming up for Sydney United, so 3 points here would be much needed. It would be 2 on the trot for them and give them their 4th win of the season. It's 1-1 at the moment. Anything can happen for either of these sides. Whole team pushing forward now. Sparacino's ball that is gathered up, but a bit of pinball in the process. APIA end up with it again. And the experienced camper on the left side of the field there. Sean Simons, that's that one roll out. Quick one to Kambiyashi. Kalach is deep in his goal and had to put on the afterburners a little bit to get to that one before a serious chase of Alessandro Lacalandra came through. Kelly. First time ball from Stewart. Didn't see the overlapping run of Joel Bertolicio. Lacalandra now. Kelly does well. He been put under plenty of pressure since he came on in the early stages here, Drendon Kelly. And Ulcino, great ball over the top, outside of the foot. Bobbles on the head of Vlastelica and does well to clear it in the end. Only as far as Caspers though. Got options in the middle, one of those being Presley Ortiz. Kambiyashi goes for it. Good save by Prendergast. And first time clearance from Vlastelica, out of danger for the time being. Caspers. Kambiyashi, good flick over the top. First time ball in from Stewart. No good, but the backups are there for APIA. Now Sparacino with a chance to reset it. Segredo spots the run of Caspers, who gets to it before Bailey Rule. Kambiyashi. Caspers. Kambiyashi tried to get a little bit tricky there, and Glassick first to it to clear that one away, but Sparacino again first there. And now back to Kalach with a bit of time to think about this one. Nice ball there from Bertolicio to find Stewart. First time crossing, Kambiyashi, even better touch. Just couldn't find the finishing product. And it looks to have taken a deflection on the way out. And a third corner of the game goes the way of APIA Leichhardt. Will it be third time lucky for APIA with 5 minutes to go in this eventful first half? Kambiyashi front stick. Ulcino at the edge of the box. Double deflection away by Vlastelica 3 times for the captain. Stands his ground and Got rid of 3 shots just like that. And pressing him forward just as quickly, the Sydney United defence. Rule that one. A little bit more pace than he expected. Had to regather his footing, but got rid of it in the end. Simons. His pass deflected, but again, the reinforcements are there for APIA as Ulcino, Kelly, Bertolicio, Cambiashi under pressure, uses his pace to get a bit of freedom now. Caspers turns on the left foot. Great shot and an even better save by Tristan Prendergast. Caspers almost had a double there. APIA 4 corners so far. So Seiya Cambiashi was lining to take that one up on the left, and the referee telling him to go to the right, and he's foregone corner duties there, and it looks like it'll be Sean Simons to take this one. Right in front of the Sydney United 58 substitutes warming up. Looping ball in at the back stick, pretty easily dealt with there by McGinn, or so it looked like. It went a little bit too high for his liking, and consecutive corners here for APIA. Worked out well for Cambiashi in the end. Attacking the back stick seems to be the play. Sparacino got ahead to it, but the angle was never really there for the header. Plenty of reinforcements there for Sydney United, and goal kick for the hosts. Pastelica lobs it forward. Lacalandra tries to head it back into play. Seemingly trapped in this pocket of the half. And it's a good defensive play by Sydney United. So they get the ball back as Glassick launches it out wide to Wells. Did well to keep it in, but probably inadvertently there forced Simons to kick it out. And a throw the way of Sydney United. Rule to Chabot. Pastelica. Hatch went for the first time ball through to De Oliveira, but big presence there. Jack Stewart has seemingly the only ball of this game has gone into the under construction zone here at the Boca stand. It looks like Mario Chabot down with a little bit of an injury here, and chance for both sides to catch a breath. Quick drink of water before half-time. So everyone getting a mini half-time break here. Surely the referee just goes, all right, seen enough here, boys. We'll give you an early break. It's going to be half-time soon enough anyway. So both coaches here pretty tight-lipped on the sideline with their whole squads in front of them. You wonder if they're saving a big spray for the half-time sheds. So Chabot is going to need a substitution here. Call from the physio is that his afternoon is over and It's going to be Tarek Meyer to take his place. So both sides forced into early substitutions as the fourth official indicates 4 minutes of injury time here. So an extended break here just before half time, but we'll get 4 more minutes of play. Plenty of time for either side to go into the break up. Still 1-0 between Rockdale and the Spirit. Rockdale leading that game. So Chabot's afternoon is over. Tarek Meyer to take his spot. Looked to be that way, but by the looks of it, Sydney United down to 10 for the time being, as Meyer wasn't ready in time. Obviously not expecting to come on in such short notice, but he's there now, Tarek Meyer.
Coming off injured, number 8 for Sydney United, Mario Chabot, being replaced by number 15, Tarek Meyer.
Just 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Sydney United's attack has deflated a little bit. The back end of the first half as APIA sees momentum, but plenty of time for them to get something back here and conjure the lead back up. Jennings with space. Goes for the cross. Back stick. Wells is there and forced to chest that one out. Sean Simons. The first corner of the game for Sydney United 58. Mason Wells on corner duty as there is about 8 bodies on Oliver Kalach. It's funny, Sydney United 58 have gone against 2 of their former keepers in recent weeks. Round 1 against Daniel Nizic, and they went direct from every corner trying to attack him. Obviously, they tend to know a bit about them. Wells goes direct. It almost hit Glassick, but Kelly heads it away. And another corner for Sydney United 58. De Oliveira on corner duty this time. De Oliveira goes long. Vlastelica first time. That would have been some goal from the centre half. And another corner for Sydney United 58. Sometimes you just got to go for those. When it's up in the air floating, you had a lot of time to think about it. And if you pulled it off, it would have been something special from the captain. 3 straight for Sydney United. Can they get a goal from this one? Goes short, Mason Wells. De Oliveira got caught up in the turf. And a goal kick for APIA Leichhardt with 60 seconds remaining of injury time. Goal kick taken quickly. Up forward, making a run at it now is Sean Simons. Goes long to Ortiz. Try to turn into it, and it's only gone as far as Matthew Hatch. Breaking the ankles of Saya Kambiyashi, if you will. Hatch through the legs of Stewart. That'll be a fine, probably, if they follow most club rules there. McGinn now space to go forward. De Oliveira, first time ball rule. The clearance falls straight back to the number 10. Crosses it in. Lacalandra goes for it. Good stop by Sparacino. And McGinn right back on it, giving Sydney United one last chance at it. Vlastelica, acres to go forward. Keeps going, thinks about it. Adrian Vlastelica. The final kick of the first half. In a thrilling 45 minutes of action, 1-1 between Sydney United and APIA Leichhardt. Join us back here in 15 minutes for the second half.
Rockdale 1, Spirit FC 1. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, Sydney United are back here on Tuesday night in their first Australia Cup fixture.
Second half, moments away from getting started here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. 1-1 between Sydney United and APIA Leichhardt. Final 45 minutes coming up now. We're back underway. So a very strong opening to the game for Sydney United 58. Undone by a bit of APIA brilliance in the final 15 minutes of the first half. 2 injury concerns for both sides as well to 2 of the most important players, it must be said, in the early stages of the game if you're just tuning in. APIA Leichhardt without Temba Muatamalo, who went down with a serious looking leg injury in the first exchanges of the game, really is serious looking injury, so we wish him all the best there. And Mario Chabot, who just came back from injury, went down again just moments before half time, and Tarek Meyer takes his place in the middle of the park as Dredden Kelly fills in was one half of the centre-back pairing alongside Anthony Sparacino. Such a big blow for both sides. It's a bit of a similar start to the first half in terms of back and forthness to start, but APIA looking to strike first here. Ortiz back in the middle, just across the face of Eddie Caspers. And first to it was the substitute Tarek Meyer, who was taken out by Jack Stewart in the process. Free kick taken quickly, but a bit of a theme for both sides here as Rule looks to go early to Lakalandra. Almost beats Sparacino for pace, and Lakalandra putting his former teammate under some pressure. Oliver Kalach calls for handball there. It's going to be given. The surface can be a bit relentless if you don't judge the ball well, and Joel Bertolicio finding out the hard way there. Classic. Again, now Rule with a bit of space. Wells puts it back through to Rule and somehow almost ends up with the ball back in the middle, and it's going to be a very early corner for Sydney United 58. Wells looked to take that one quickly, but he's arguably 2 biggest threats in the box. Liam McGinn and Adrian Vlastelica weren't in there yet, so going to have to be patient, the number 23. Mason Wells goes direct. Kelly, strong clearance away, but straight back out to Wells. Thought about getting it back in. And a good stop there by Segredo. Rule takes it quickly to Wells with a bit of space out wide. Lobs it in the middle, bounces away. Sparacino clears it. And first time clearance there from Ortiz. This is where Sydney United thrived in the first half, just camping APIA in their own box area and launching balls forward. That one didn't come through that time for Vlastelica, but a good start anyway. Kelly under pressure from Lakalandra there. Almost caught everyone off guard with an early interception there, as Adrian Vlastelica seems to be in a bit of agony on the floor there after colliding with Presley Ortiz for that header. Looks to be a groin thigh injury for Vlastelica. So in the other game, still 1-1, Rockdale Linden and the Northwest Sydney Spirit. 2 best goal scorers from either side getting on the board, Alek Udashevsky and Uakubu. Udashevsky extending his lead at top of the Golden Boot tally. 11 this season. He's something else, and next Sunday he'll be here. He's given Sydney United nightmares in the past in early stages of games. And in the form he's in, he'd give any side nightmares, really, Alek Udashevsky. But relating that back to here, obviously Presley Ortiz with 8 goals. Just you really need to keep within striking distance of Włodarczyk if you want to try and knock off arguably the greatest goal scorer this competition's ever seen off his perch, as Vlastelica's still down and receiving some treatment. It looks like the only real option defensively for Ante Juric on the bench would be Anthony Krilic, who fills in more on the wing. Was a wing back, which would probably force Liam McGinn with a new partner, or possibly Glasic back into centre half, and a few moving parts to be shaken around, but Vlastelica looks okay. He's got Michael Pratzina, Anthony Krilic, Steven de Robillard and Patrick Antelmi, a pretty attack-heavy bench for Ante Juric. Now Jennings looking to show off in his bag of skills. He gets one in there and forces a strong header away from Kelly. Almost got that one into the back of his own net. Good clearance in the end there. And Sydney United 58, another corner. They had 3 consecutive to finish the first half, and they've had 2 in quick succession here. So Vlastelica back on the pitch. Short one from De Oliveira, try to pick out Wells. Didn't go to plan, but still plenty of time to attack here for Sydney United in this space. Flicked over the top, Lacalandra. Back in the middle, he's offside as De Oliveira. No one home with that swing. So not too much on the injury front for Temba Muatamalo, but not a great sign. Just seen some crutches being passed down through the tunnel, so I really hope for the best there. Such a good player and such an influential player, not only for APIA, but for this competition alone. The league thrives with players like him involved, and just wishing nothing but the best for Temba. Sparacino. Bailey Rule, great work to flick that one away. Now APIA, after being under the pump for the last 5 minutes or so, a chance to get something going as De Oliveira thought about it, but the ball just escaped his grasp. Simons, Kambiyashi, Stewart thought about it, faked the shot, went to Caspers. He's already got one today, Eddie Caspers. Out wide, back into the face, Prendergast. Almost caught it, but just wobbled a little bit and back into the path. Was there by Segredo. Stewart's been everywhere in attack so far for APIA. Good ball to find Kambiyashi. Saya Kambiyashi looking for the 1-2 with Caspers, but he was rooted to the spot, Eddie Caspers. And that looks like Vlastelica back down again. Oh, sorry, not Vlastelica, it's Michael Glasic down with an Achilles problem by the looks of it. And not too sure what Ante Juric would do here if Glasic was to go down. He looks alright, a little bit ginger. He was carrying something at the back end of the first half. Vlastelica goes long. Great ball through. Lakalandra now with a chance. It's got to get past Kelly. Turns and holds it up. Edge of the box. De Oliveira. Carlos De Oliveira. Good stop by Kalach. Spilled a little bit, but on clean-up duty there, the APIA defence gets it out of danger for the time being. Bailey Rule, long ball in. Lakalandra first time. Finds Maya. De Oliveira now. Goes down in the box. Nothing from the referees yet. Maya. Good chance to get this one in. Almost found Jennings at the back stick. But again, Kelly. It's been sensational since coming on. Jennings out wide. Hatch. Hatch goes for it. Just didn't get the desired curve. Got underneath it. And a massive sigh of relief for APIA Leichhardt. So the short goal kick's taken over this game. McGinn forces a poor touch from Ortiz, and Maya with a 1-2. Over the top, back to Lakalandra. Can he get a foot to it? Kelly again. Coming out on top. Hatch overran that one a little bit, that pass from Maya. And now Stewart. Space to go forward. Out wide, Ortiz. Unfamiliar position for him this season. He's usually on the receiving end of those ones. Rasek headers it away, but only as far as Stewart. Now a chance to reset with Simons. Possession coughed up. De Oliveira pushing the tempo. Good ball out wide. Is Jennings going to beat Kelly to it? A strong challenge there by Kelly. Referee waving off any calls for a penalty pretty quick there, and I think Jennings knew that was a fair one as well. As the sun comes out blaring in the second half now. Can't ask for better conditions for Sunday afternoon football. Uchino. Simons try to give it to Segredo, and a bit of miscommunication between the two leads to Sydney United ball. Lakalandra assesses his options, gives it to Wells, who does brilliant to cut in. Mason Wells hit the thigh of Kelly, and they've saved it from another corner. APIA, it's going to be a throw for the hosts. Mason Wells, one-on-one with Simons. Does well to keep the ball in. Both players hit the deck, and it's APIA gaining the advantage from it. Uchino. Kelly. Try to play a quick one out wide to Bertalicio. And the Sydney United ball kids, good to see them and Marconi. I think the only two I've seen this season still employing the ball kids, and you see a moment like that where you've got a chance to seize some momentum, get a quick throw in there, and that's exactly why they're there. Bailey Rule now. Across the face, only as far as Sparacino, who gets a good foot to it. An even better vision to find Seiya Kambiyashi. Mason Wells gets a foot on that one and stopping the potential run there from Presley Ortiz. As Ante Juric lining up a possible double substitution. Patrick Antelmi, definitely one of them to come on. Maya wins the ball back now, and Glasic spearheading in the middle. Vlastelica been very involved in his side go forward this game. Jennings looking for the 1-2 with Hatch. And Jack Stewart covering back in defence. Went long to Ortiz, and McGinn diffuses that attack. So it's going to be Stephen de Robillard and Patrick Antelmi coming on. Oh, maybe not. De Robillard has thought about it a couple times. He's taken the bib on and off. It's currently off. It was just on. Don't know what to think. Back on. So Patrick Antelmi will come on, and likely for Alessandro Laccalandra. He's had a really strong battle all day with Kelly. And it's the centre half who's gotten the better of him the last couple of times. Although Laccalandra came within inches of scoring United's second when he hit the crossbar early in the first half. De Oliveira now. Gets past a few APIA men. Through to Wells. First time. Mason Wells off the post and in. Sydney United get their lead back. A brilliant run from Carlos De Oliveira sets up Sydney United's top goal scorer this season for his fourth goal. Mason Wells gives Sydney United their second, and it's 2-1 for the hosts.
Goal for Sydney United, scored by number 23, Mason Wells. Sydney United 2 lead APIA 1.
So Alessandro Laccalandra will come off. Funny how football works sometimes, because if that's him out wide, it's probably him finding the back of the net. But he's substituted anyway for the experienced Patrick Antelmi.
Replacement for Sydney United coming off, number 13, Alessandro Laccalandra, to be replaced by number 9, Patrick Antelmi.
So Patrick Antelmi, after 3 games away from this side, is finally back. And so desperately looking for a goal. Now how good he can be once he gets a couple under his name. Yet to find one this season though. Long ball through Leroy Jennings. The long ball tactic has worked pretty well for Sydney United this game, as he loses possession there to Bertolicio. Stewart cuts back in the middle now. Not many options though. He might have to do this one himself. Caught Segredo a bit flat-footed and huffing and puffing to get to that one. Not the ideal outcome there for APIA. Antelmi. Look to send Jennings through, had plenty of space, and De Oliveira's got the same idea. Jennings switching positions with Hatch for the time being. McGinn. Good ball to find Antelmi. It's one of his strengths, Patrick Antelmi, the hold-up play, and a little bit off balance there as free kick given there. McGinn went for the ball, but took out Caspers. He's not happy with that one, McGinn. The yellow card in the first one of the game goes for one half of the Sydney United centre-back pairing. As we mentioned, a bit light on defenders at the moment. Sydney United 58, so might just have to risk this one and see how it goes with McGinn at the back. Chino. Now Stewart. Good touch and go from Bertolicio. And an even better ball in from Stewart. Good clearance by Vlastelica. And as has been the favourite of Sydney United 58 so far, looking for the long ball straight away to catch the APIA defence off guard. Good ball into Stewart. Can he get to this one? A little bit too heavy, and a goal kick for Sydney United 58. Vlastelica long ball, dealt with by Kelly, and Kambiashi flicks it on, only as far as McGinn. Wells with a good ball forward with his head. Again dealt with by Kelly. Antelmi. Lays it off for Maya. Now Jennings. Leroy Jennings goes for it. Stops by Kelly. And almost fell into the path of Antelmi. Just a little bit too fast for the number 9. Bailey Rule. So Sydney United have turned a page attackingly in the last couple of games. They've struggled a lot to score goals prior to this game. Tied 3rd for the least amount of goals scored this season with just 9 in 8 games. But on that same page, 7th least amount of goals conceded in the competition this season. Just 12, which is pretty impressive considering the slow start to the season, if you will. APIA Leichhardt, who have struggled away from home in the only 2 games that they've played away from home this season. They've had a pretty favourable start in terms of the home run as a free kick for Sydney United. But head-to-head in this fixture especially, no clean sheet in the last 10 games. And the last time they won here was the 19th of February 2023. Jack Stewart amongst the scorers that day as they got a 3-1 win against Sydney United. Long ball into Antelmi and just deflected off. Looked like the top of the thigh and straight into the arms of Oliver Kalach. Strong ball forward to Kaspers, and him and Glassick both hit the deck. Glassick, such an imposing member of the centre of the park. The APIA line up a double substitution here. It's going to be Alex Denmed coming on along with Rory Jordan. Kambiashi flicks it to Stewart. Is he going to go himself, Stewart? Edge of the box. Segredo. Deflected away. Simons goes deep. Prendergast gets a hand and a foot to it and does well to keep it out in the end, Prendergast, and launches it forward. Antelmi can get a touch in. He's through here, but he's offside. It's a double substitution to be made here for Sydney United. Sean Simons to be one of them taken off, and Jack Stewart the other one. So a double attacking switch.
Coming on for APIA, number 30, Alex Denmead, and number 11, Rory Jordan.
So Denmead will take up the right wing spot of Jack Stewart, whilst Rory Jordan will take Jordan Segredo's spot on the left wing, as Segredo will play a more advanced left wing back role. Probably see a back 3 in transition with Bertolicio forming the third part of that defence with Kelly and Sparacino. You see him already looking forward for a bit of attack as Kelly's under pressure. Long touch, or heavy touch. He's got the strength and pace to get past most though, Kelly. Porcino. It's been good so far with his distribution of the ball in the middle of the park, the skipper. Kaspers. About 4 forward now, APIA, and Segredo in his new position just caught a bit flat-footed. Possession coughed up. Sydney United get it back with a 2-1 lead with 21 minutes remaining here at their home ground. Long throw from Rule. Headed back into danger by Ulcino. Ortiz. Kambiashi. Great first touch. Kaspers is in here if he can get a touch to it. It's out for a goal kick. Still 1-1 between Rockdale Linden and the Northwest Sydney Spirit. And then obviously at the conclusion of this one, we've got Manly United and the Wollongong Wolves, 2 finals contenders for sure this season doing battle. I know it's early, but you could say it's a potential finals preview between those 2 sides on the up from last season. Denmead, first touch of the ball since coming off, goes for goal, straight down the throat of Prendergast. But positive signs off the bench so far for Alex Denmead. Wells looks to get past Segredo, who Maybe he has a bit of a relationship there with Wells because he seemed to give him a bit of a bear hug from behind. Not much to it. It didn't seem to affect Wells too much. He's been a potent threat for APIA this game. Oh, sorry, Sydney United, I should say. And tell me his touch is a little heavy, but running onto it was Meyer. Unsuccessful, though. Segredo gets the better of Wells this time. A long ball outside. Ortiz with a chance to show what he's got now. Gets it back onto his right, cuts in again, and McGinn picks his pockets. Liam McGinn, fantastic work. And possession coughed up pretty cheaply there by Sydney United. Then Mead. 4-1 back by Leroy Jennings, as he looks to find a bit of space and does so with Hatch. Vastelitsa launches it forward, but it's going to go out for a throw just over halfway. Sparacino now. The United defence inviting him to come forward. Rory Jordan. Back to Sparacino. Segredo thought about getting it in the middle, but plays it safe back to Sparacino, and the skipper on the ball now. Bertalicio couldn't pick between the two, and Hatch comes out on top, but a throw back for APIA, who seem to seize a little bit of this momentum back. Camped United 58 a little bit in their own half now. Dead Mead look to get past Classic, but it's pretty hard to get any balls by him, really. Jordan 1-2 with Kambiyashi. Hatch on clean-up duty. Does it brilliantly, Matthew Hatch. And Uccino with a clearance that probably purposefully went straight to Segredo, and it's going to be a corner for APIA Leichhardt. I believe they're first of this second half. Kambiyashi floats one at the back stick. No one home. Ortiz keeps it safe though. Uccino. Good delivery in there. Kelly gets a good head to it, but hits the back of Bailey Rule, who will have to get rid of this one in the worst way. Onto the roof of the Boca stand. Pretty impressive to hit the top of that and bounce straight back. Almost hitting the Boca stand sign. Uccino. Good ball out wide to find Bertalicio. Then Mead gets a touch onto it, and Ortiz was there, but Liam McGinn slams it away as Ante Juric lines up another substitution here. Back the way of Sydney United. Tarek Meyer was through there and taken out by Uccino. Smart tactical foul. Taken quickly, and now with McGinn. And tell me, won that header and finds Wells. No one home for Classic. So Stephen de Robillard will come on momentarily for Sydney United 58 here. Either to replace Mason Wells or Leroy Jennings, who have had sensational afternoons, both of them. Looked plenty in attack, and obviously Mason Wells, as it stands, with the winning goal. United's top goal scorer this season. A goal kick for APIA as the substitution here. Leroy Jennings, the man called off. Good afternoon, good outing in both defence and attack, and good round of applause for the number 32 coming off here.
Replacement for Sydney United. Number 32, Leroy Jennings, is being replaced by number 22, Stefan de Robillard.
So de Robillard returning last week after being on international duty for Mauritius. One of two men with international experience in this Sydney United outfit. Obviously Leroy Jennings as well. One of those called up into the Fijian side. Sparacino tried to head it out of danger but went straight to Meyer, but got a little bit too comfortable with it, and Rory Jordan working back in defence to try and ignite something for his side. Kelly's touch is a bit heavy, and Antelmi wins it back, and there's plenty of options forward for Sydney United. Antelmi tries to get it in, but Kelly wins it back for his side and gets it out for a corner. De Oliveira goes front stick. Wells flicks it on, and no one home. Den Mead got that one away. If he wasn't there, Myers through for sure. But credit to the APIA defence, reading that set play very well. Looking to reignite it now, Mason Wells. Gets past Wells in the middle, and Kelly heads it away again. Boy, hasn't he gotten through a mountain of work defensively. Dread on Kelly. And another corner for Sydney United 58. They're 7th of the game. Plenty of corners so far as well. 13 either way. This one might be a bit hard to see. Kalachin goal's just got that little last bit of sun in his eyes. Back stick it goes. Vlastelica trying to get after this one to stop it going out, and he'll do it just in time. And sends it into Kelly out for a throw. Smart work there by the skipper. Hatch, quick one with De Oliveira and De Robillard now, with his first touch since coming on. Hatch backs himself to get past Den Mead. Gets it in the middle, and Termi with a chance to turn, just couldn't get it, the touch to stick. And De Oliveira wins it back. Carlos De Oliveira! Great save by Oliver Kalach. But Carlos De Oliveira won it back for his side. Tried to play it through, and the deflection fell back to him. He had every right to shoot there, and he almost found the back of the net. Wells goes direct at the front stick, and pretty calmly kneed away there by the skipper, Adrian Uccino. So all in on Oliver Kalach again. The poor goalkeeper doesn't have much room to move there. Wells goes direct. Had the two centre-halves there. And a chance now to go the other way, Seiya Kambiyashi, but the substitute, Stephen de Robillard, works hard to keep that one alive for Sydney United here. That ball just teetering on the line, and Eddie Casper's deemed to have touched it last. So throw in for Sydney United 58, which they are in no rush to take. So another double substitution being lined up here by Franco Parisi. So Franco Farinella, and it looks like Maxim Kasalovic as well will be coming on. Hatch. Low driven, cross, almost a cross. Was it a shot? Not too sure, but just wide of the target in the end there. So double substitution. Eddie Casper's one of the men to come off alongside the skipper Adrian
Coming on for
Orchino.
APIA, number 99, Franco Farinella, and number 29, Maxim Kasalovic.
So Kasalovic will replace Suchino in the center of the park. So it's Spadaccino given the captain's armband as well. So that is all outfield substitutions used there by Franco Parisi. It's pretty rare to see Orchino come off. He's usually a 90-minute man, but obviously just noticing something there. Franco Parisi, some player in his day. You can sense possibly when there just needs to be a bit of fresh legs in the middle, and he's done so with Farinella and Kasalovic. It's a classic. It's gone down, not for the first time this game, it must be said. Bit of cramping in the lower calf by the looks of it. So still 1-1 as we go around the grounds with the Rockdale Linden and the Northwest Sydney Spirit. Check the live table. That would mean Spirit stay first. Tied on points for the Marconi Stallions if they stay a draw, and Rockdale would remain third, and a win here would push Sydney United up to 9th and APIA down to 5th with 14 points, and 12 to Sydney United, who, as I said, with a win here, suddenly just launching themselves back into contention. Still early days, still plenty of football to be played here as the Cup season starts as well this Tuesday for Sydney United 58 as they take on the Glebe Gorillas. Kambiashi now gets it into Ortiz, falls to Rory Jordan, but the combination of Glasuk and Vlastelica deals with it for the time being. Good shot there by Segredo. Not called. Handball was the appeal there. It was Bertolicio, I should say. Kasalovic. Acres of space was Rory Jordan calling for it, but Mason Wells deals with it. And launching it straight away. How about the first pass from Anthony Sparaccino? Take a bow. As cool as you like it. As Mason Wells, crowd urging him to keep possession for a little bit as Kelly forced to chest that one away and runs into Tarek Meyer. Bertolicio. Goes himself, Joel Bertolicio. Scored a few in his time when this was his home ground, but that effort a little bit wide. Prendergast launching this one forward. Brilliant touch by Mason Wells, but Kasalovic was first to it. And now Denmead. Fakes the cross the first time, goes with it the second time, and overrunning it a little bit was Seiya Kambiashi, but Rory Jordan gets it back for a throw-in. Just a little side note there, the APIA staff realizing that both of the other game balls are in the back left corner of the field, so they've run over, they've sent one of the assistants to go get it to try and speed up the play. Obviously when the ball goes out, the home team with a lead will have no motivation to go get it. De Oliveira goes down, pretty fair challenge from Farinella. Just see that there. Good job from the assistant. Made some good ground there to get two balls back into their grass APIA. Zantelmi chests it forward to Wells, and it's going to be a throw for Sydney United 58. Just under 5 minutes of regulation to go. Patrick Antelmi has looked very lively since coming on, as has Tarek Meyer. Cleared away, but only as far as Bailey Rule. Rule finds Antelmi in space. Patrick Antelmi went to curve, just got underneath it a little bit. And a good chance gone to waste there by Sydney United. Kalach short to Spadacino. Farinella. His pass deflected away by Mason Wells, but throw in for APIA. Segredo. They're trapped in this little pocket here, but Segredo does well. Bit of an expansive pass straight into the grasp of Stephen de Robillard. Fresh off the bench, got pace to burn to Robillard. Good ball in the middle. Antelmi almost got to it, but Rory Jordan working back as De Oliveira went for it on the half volley and pretty far off the target in the end, Carlos. He's had a good day so far, the number 10. He'll be sore tomorrow after all the work he's gone through in the middle of the park. Sparacino back to Kalach. Kasalovic. Captain Mead. Two men back. Hatch and de Robillard win it back and get a throw in. Best case outcome there for Sydney United 58. So they're just minutes away from a second straight win. He looks a bit ginger picking that ball up as well. Antelmi, that ball bounced up at the wrong spot for him, and the other way, Kambiashi. Ortiz flicks it on. Great ball through. It was Den Mead who almost got on the end of that, but Prendergast cleans up the good bit of defensive work there by Liam McGinn. Prendergast out of danger. Antelmi try to keep it in play, but it'll be a throw in for APIA. The fourth official just figuring out how much time left in terms of injury time at the conclusion of regulation in just under 2 minutes. Bailey Rule now heads it out of danger, and Mason Wells just has to get it out of there. Great catch in the crowd there by Tony Tomalik. But he can't get the ball over the fence. He'll be disappointed with that. Back onto the field action now. Farinella. Out wide with the sun in his eyes was Joel Bertolicio. Pockets picked by Stephen de Robillard. All he wants to do is get this ball forward and keep it there. Try to nudge it past Farinella, but too strong, and a free kick given up in the process. So it looks like there's going to be 5 minutes of additional time here. So plenty of time for APIA to conjure up something, but just in that same sentence, that's plenty of time for Sydney United to get a third and potentially win this. Antelmi, one-on-one with Spadacino. Wins the ball back, and he's got options in the box if he can get it there. Antelmi try to get it around Sparacino. The clearance goes to Mason Wells, and Kelly shields it off as Oliver Kalach picks that one up. And a late scare for APIA. If that one found the back of the net, that would have been game over for sure. But it's still alive here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. Kasalovic. Denmead gets it back in control. Farinella.
The fourth official has put up 5 minutes of additional time.
Kelly thought about it. Had De Oliveira for company and goes out wide. Good cross in. Vlastelitz's header. It's cleared back in, but dangerous position. Pendergast cleans up that header from Liam McGing. And Sydney United now. The countdown begins. Can they make it 5 straight wins against APIA Leichhardt? Meaning that unless these two play in the finals again, and Sydney United host, APIA Leichhardt won't have a chance to end this run of winless games here at the Sydney United Sports Centre until 2026, which could extend that run to nearly 3 years without a win here. It's not an easy place to play for any team. Matthew Hatch. Forward to Antelmi, who couldn't get full control of that chested touch. Won't matter though. Good ball forward. Mason Wells. Looked to be a 50-50 challenge. It's gone the way of Apia. Jordan switches angles. Seiya Kambiashi. Great defensive work by Bailey Rule. And now options forward for Sydney United 58. Stephen de Robillard with space to go forward. He's got Antelmi and Maya for company. Back to De Oliveira. De Oliveira goes for it from distance. Just couldn't get the power. And a pretty easy collection there by Oliver Kalach, who just forces his team to go forward at pace. And he's not happy with the current trajectory of their attack. Segredo. Farinella's got Bertolicio in plenty of space as United's compact defence gives him that option out wide. Bertolicio back in the middle. Bailey Rule's chest almost away from danger, and lucky there was no one running onto that for Sydney United 58. Farinella goes for it. And headed away by Presley Ortiz. And we're halfway done in regulation, so just 2.5 minutes remain. Two minutes to go here. Sydney United still seem pretty keen to get a third. Every goal counts. Can they get something going here? Maya forward had 3 options, and Kelly, who's just been absolutely sensational today for APIA Leichhardt, replacing Themba Moata-Malo, doing his best to keep his side in it. So now the urgency and the tempo up a couple of steps for APIA. And a double air swing there, the header from Kambiashi and the clearance from Bailey Rule. But a good redemption shot there by Rule. Forward now, Antelmi's called offside. And he's lost a shin pad in the process as well. Kasalovic. Bertolicio. Goes central this time. Back to Kasalovic. De Oliveira. Pushing the pace. Forcing him backwards a little bit. Positive signs defensively for United. Kambiashi. What a flick through. Kasalovic. Can they square it up here? Rory Jordan. Sensational stop by Glassick. Not out of danger now. Kelly. Darts forward, long touch. Matthew Hatch beats him to it. Vlastelica gets it away. And de Robillard Salvaging something here for Sydney United with what could have been the last attack. Gotten forward there by Glassick. And 20 seconds to go. Oliver Kalach gets the ball back in, and Sydney United get 3 massive points.
With a big 2-1 victory over APIA.
5 straight wins over APIA Leichhardt.
Team. And Ante Juric, the coach, congratulations, 2 wins in a row. In the other match this afternoon, it's still Rockdale 1, Spirit 1. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Tuesday evening, Australia Cup action, Sydney United versus Glebe Gorillas right here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. And we do hope to see you here next Sunday, 3 p.m. kickoff for the big match against Rockdale. Sydney United versus Rockdale next Sunday right here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. Thank you so much for your attendance and see you at the next game. Well done, Sydney United.
Huge win for Sydney United. Mason Wells goals in the end.